everybody, and welcome to Epic Everyday, our weekday podcast for busy, overwhelmed Christians who are stuck in franticity and want to stop being stuck there and move into freedom and abundance and peace. I'm Liz Ferks, and this is my husband, Evan.
Hello.
And we are so glad that you guys are here with us today. As you guys know, we work our way through the CSCs. They are being calm, surrendered, centered, connected, and complete. And really, our show is structured to be a reminder. Every day, oh yeah, this stuff is still important. Oh yeah, this stuff is still important. Yeah. Because it's so easy to forget those things.
Yeah, and hopefully it's a little challenging too. Maybe some new ideas here. I mean, I know when we learned about Tai Chi a couple years ago, and we talked about yesterday reading the Tony Robbins book, it's like, well, that's a new idea. We want some of that stuff too. So hopefully there's a little bit of that.
Totally. So since it's Tuesday, we are talking about surrender, and this week we've been talking about time.
Oh, we didn't talk about Tony Robbins yesterday, did we? I was listening to last week.
Fine.
Oh, if you want to know what I was talking about, I think that was last Thursday or something.
Whatever day that was.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're talking about time this week, not money. That money was last week.
Time is money.
Well, no, remember? That was one of the things we talked about last week.
That's
that
right.
Time is more important than money. Because you can make more money, you can't make more time.
Kind of locked in with the whole time thing. We all get 24 hours.
Yeah.
Rich or poor, young or old.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy. I mean, how often... Well, we talked about this yesterday, too. Like, how often you're like, man, I just need a few more hours in the day.
Yeah, I don't think that would really help, though.
Probably not. We'd probably just be more stressed. I mean, the Lord made it this way for some reason. So.
Yeah. Well, and we're going to talk about that today because we're talking about surrendering
Exactly.
to God's plan. But I know what when I get swept away in this and I start to lose my peace because I'm not surrendering my time, it's because I think that it should go faster. Whatever
it is.
Yeah, I think that whatever it is taking way too long.
Yes.
And why is that? And then my peace is gone.
Yeah,
I'm not in the
true.
moment anymore. I'm in the moment and I hate it and I want to be in the next moment.
Yeah, I do that too where I'm just so frustrated. But it's so interesting to me. I don't know if this is super applicable to today's topic, but whatever kind of emotional energy you put into an activity is always reflected back.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I start something and I'm like, oh, this is going to take so long. I know it's going to take so long.
That's
because it's self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've experienced that. I was talking more about other things like the train's not here yet or traffic's taking forever. But I do that with myself too. Why does it take me so long to brush my teeth?
Yeah, I know. You
10 minutes?
and you're like.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Just an example.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, when I get stressed, it's more I want my plan to go the way that I want my plan to go. Like, I make a plan, and then it's a rushed plan usually, where it's no time in between. That's something that I've been working on is
there's no
creating
margin
transition
time, no flex time.
and margin time. Yeah. But it definitely used to be that it was okay, in the next 30 seconds, we're supposed to have started our next activity. Why haven't we completed this one?
Yeah. That's stressful.
So,
and it gets stressful for the girls, too.
Yes.
They look at the clock and they're like, we're half an hour, whatever, how are we going to finish? But
yeah, we always manage. But yeah, definitely putting some margin in to make it less stressful. But for me, surrendering is kind of that. I don't have that open hand, like we talked about. Make a plan, hold it with an open hand. My plan is white-knuckled because I'm no, we're going to do it this way. This is the way that's the best because I came up with it and we're going to do it. I don't care what else happens. The cat's sick? No time for that. No time for you to be sick either.
Yeah, really. Well, I'll try to hurry up and get better. I think what we're doing there is we're not in the real world anymore. We are
We're not
in
complete.
fantasy world where this it happens instantly for some reason. Who knows why, but it does in the fantasy world.
Right. Yeah. And, I so want to have that, like I was talking about yesterday, having that calm and peace as I go through my day, and that sense of that creativity and grace that when something comes up, instead of white knuckling my way through this unexpected thing or being super cranky about it, being able to just be like, okay, God is the one who is ultimately in charge of my schedule. And if he wants to add something, that is perfectly fine.
Yeah. And trusting that it really is fine. That's the rub, though. Like, that's what we're working on, right? To
Right.
get into that mindset. I think that has to do with understanding that sometimes God's timetable seems crazy, right? I mean,
Yes.
when we get interrupted, definitely, if it's a God thing, it's like, what makes you think I have time for this?
Right.
But just looking at the normal patterns that we all know about, sometimes that seems crazy too. Well, often. I mean, do we really do a Sabbath? We strive for it, but like we as in Americans, how
Right.
many Americans actually do a Sabbath? That seems pretty out there. Or even sleeping at night. It's like I have to slow down and go to sleep now before I can just like keep doing more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's, and God in his wisdom is like, take these breaks. And if you don't, you're going to hit a wall pretty hard.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, I think in Psalm 127, but where it talks about, in vain do you get up early and in vain do you stay up late. Like,
Yeah.
just this idea that unless God is working, we can burn the candle at both ends. Because it says, for God gives sleep to his beloved. Like, if we are not sleeping when we're supposed to, we're not in line with God's plan for our lives, which is
Yeah.
so hard.
His plan involves being not productive
Right.
a fair amount of the time.
Yeah, and just trusting, which is crazy,
Yeah.
And
It's just boggling how much time and I don't think it's really downtime. It's important. God in his wisdom knows what he's doing. Some of that's
Right.
to regenerate our cells and to heal and things like that, but also just to, if we were working 24/7 and that was our job, we'd just be robots and we wouldn't have any friendships. Mm-hmm. In those other moments where we're just sitting by the fire, that's relationship time.
Right. Or even, I read this article about how all those like flashes of genius,
Yeah.
those things happen when you're daydreaming and your brain is like kind of
Yeah.
off of doing stuff mode.
Yeah.
And so if you have no room for daydreaming in your life, you have no room for doing anything amazing.
Right.
You only
Nothing
have
new.
time for the mediocre.
Yeah. Right.
Which
Or
is
just
a terrifying thought.
right. We're just in productivity mode, which
Right.
is, you're not inventing a new process at that point. You're just continuing the established process, whatever that is.
Right, exactly. If you want to stay in the same place in your life that you are right now for the next
Just
20
get
years.
stuff done all the time.
Just get stuff done all the time. Yes. Oh, man, that is a scary, scary thought.
Yeah.
Because that is one thing that I fall into really easily.
I do too. I mean, I was thinking about those patterns. We even have like harvest and winter and so like just yearly patterns, weekly patterns. Mm-hmm. And as I was thinking about it, the thing that I'm like, well, you know what, I'd really rather, like those up and downs, they're kind of hard to deal with. I'd rather just like this straight shot, even keel kind of thing where it's just like, I'm just going to work at about 75% throttle my entire life without taking any breaks. I'd really rather just do that. Like that seems, that's the bizarro goal for some reason, even though that's fantasy world. Like, why would I have to like, because I don't like being really busy and I don't like being bored. I don't have anything to do. If I just had about things that could, occupy my mind and my body at about 75% capacity, I could just plow through life for 80 years and I'd be happy. And that's
You
just
are such a
crazy, isn't
two.
it? Right. And
I would go
nobody
insane.
would be happy with that. But for some reason, that's striving for equilibrium is like,
No.
yeah.
No.
Well, and it's not even really what I want, but
I know, but it's just so funny. Like, that would never even cross my mind. Like, I mean, I like my schedule to be the way my schedule is, but if I don't have those moments where I feel, just extra alive and extra inspired to go do
Sure.
something crazy,
Well,
I get super cranky.
Yeah, I would be cranky if I got what I wanted. But like when things are really up or really down or really here or really there, I'm constantly trying to like rein it back in, and I think I would be more present in God's reality if I was
A little more
a little bit
surrendered
more
to the
there.
idea
Yes.
that you could have those
Yeah.
ups and downs.
That when I'm resting, I'm really resting. When I'm working, I'm really working.
Yeah. Yeah, that was such a paradigm shift too, that resting is productive.
Yeah.
Like if that's what's on your list to do and you do it, you are productive.
Yeah, that's pretty mind-blowing too.
Right. So, real quick, like some of the practical things about how to actually surrender. Because we talked about last week, with tithing, you can say you surrender your money till you're blue in the face. But unless you're actually, putting your money where your mouth is, you're not really surrendering your money. And time is the same way.
Okay.
So,
Are you waiting for me to?
do you have a practical thing? I mean, I do, but.
Yeah, I do. One of the things that's been super valuable to us is, and we've talked about it before, I want to get away from saying we've talked about this before and just talk about it and not have to, but whatever, that's just I don't like disclaimers, and now I'm giving an even longer one. One of the things that's been really helpful for us is nights off for each of us throughout the week. And that's it's separate from the Sabbath, but it's kind of a personal Sabbath. It's a little retreat for a couple hours during the week where you or I we can go to a coffee shop or we can go to the movies or whatever, and we don't have parental responsibilities. And we've seen the productivity go up.
Yes.
There's a lot more emotional space for us to relate.
Right.
I can relate better with the children. And it's a really good thing. And it comes from taking a break.
Yes. Definitely. I like that one. I also, for me, one of the ways that I like to practically surrender my day is to actually get down on my knees in the morning and be like, okay, Lord, change my day however you want to change it, which is hard for me to pray. But praying that and then and praying over my schedule as I'm writing down my to-do list and being like, okay, put on whatever you want. And then the other one that I've done that has been so helpful and so stretching is taking a Sabbath.
Yeah.
Because I cannot tell you how hard it is from sundown to not work. Like, it kills
difficult.
me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, I'm trying to finish my novel and... there's stuff that needs done around the house. And
Always stuff. Always something.
I've got podcast stuff and I need to write school tests and 80 million things. And so from sundown to sundown, I mean, we've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
But for me, it's still like every, 20 minutes or something, I have to be like, okay, Lord, I'm trying to honor you with my Sabbath, so I'm not going to do the thing that I just thought of. It's like I'll think of, what should I do next? Oh, I should do this thing. Oh, it's Sabbath. Okay.
All I can do next
pray,
is rest.
Re-surrender, right. But it's this perpetual exercise in surrender for me because it is so hard for me to rest. I'm not good at that.
That's probably half the point of doing it. It's
right.
Going through that anguish.
Right. Well, and it just constantly forces me to remember, okay, God's the one, just like God's the one that provides for us with our finances, he's the one who provides for us with our time and makes sure that we have the time to do the things that we need to do and then gives us things that are like catching fire from heaven, things that are so fun and so life-giving. And
when he wants us to take even more time than, like, he asked for 10% of our money, but he asked for 1/7 of our time.
Yeah.
To just set it aside and worship and rest. My goodness.
Well, and even more than that, if you add in stuff like sleep, That's another really practical thing to do is to actually go to bed on time.
That's right.
So.
And there were other holy days in the Jewish calendar, some week-long holidays where it was a festival for an entire week. So the theology of rest, that'd be an interesting book to read or write, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's one out there.
There is. Multiple ones. So anyway, hopefully that gives us all something to think about as far as how to handle our time with a little more surrender. Because the Lord has good stuff in store for us today.
That's right.
I mean, and tomorrow and the rest of our days. But today, he has something important. So if we hold our plans with an open hand, we leave room for him to give us whatever that super awesome thing is.
Yeah. And we're even more likely to see that gift if we don't have our schedule wall to wall, if we actually schedule it in some breaks.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we love you guys, and we are praying for you that you can have a little more mental room in your time scheduler. Thanks to everybody that has been sharing. We really, really appreciate it. If this podcast has been helpful for you, please do continue to share it with people because, the more people that are living in the CSCs, the better it is for everybody because we're all connected.
And the stronger the family of God is.
Definitely.
And more capable.
All right. Have an awesome Tuesday, you guys. We will talk to you later. Come back tomorrow and we'll talk about being centered with your time.
Sounds good. See you then.